Today is Thursday, November 22nd, 2012. My name is Christal Stuebs, and I am interviewing Michael Eblin at his home in Columbus, Ohio. What is your first memory of me?
My first memory of you is probably when I was about, I think I was about 3 or 4 I would have to be. And I remember trying to get into your room I don't remember what, I probably just wanted to hang out and be in your presence and you having nothing to do with it. And I remember like sobbing and falling to the floor because I wanted to be in your room with you.
Who has been the biggest influence in your life?
Definitely my mom, just because her having been a single parent, and I think it's kind of strange because I never missed not having a dad. It was something completely normal to me. But everything that is parenthood and like all that figure stuff is just her. So she's a big influence in the way that she always made us very driven to always get good grades in school and pursue things like that. And just her story of having lost her dad when she was 7 years old and growing up with a single mom and having to help take care of the kids because she was the oldest girl, and all of the times that she had shitty husbands and all of that sort of stuff, kind of having persevered through all of that, I think is kind of a big deal. And when I know how invested she is in our success, so I think it's, in terms of influence, I think it's definitely one of the reasons why I try to succeed a lot, just because I don't want to have made all of that hard work and investment for nothing. But otherwise, yeah, I feel like you taught me a lot of stuff about little life lessons about just how to do this and how make sure you don't do this, and just kind of little life lessons. And then Aunt Nikki, I think, was a big influence in just in the way that I approach really thinking about the world and being philosophical and being critical, and the way that she kind of developed me intellectually at an early age and challenged me. And I always loved her because she always spoke to me like I was an adult. And
what was your most memorable moment about high school?
If I really think about it, I know that I remember having a lot of fun. I mean, I had lots of friends. I was in everything. I remember being happy for a lot of it, but I really remember the hateful, backwards, hillbilly people. I guess when I think of Northridge, that's what I think of. I think of that mentality, and all of the stuff that I when I was starting a gay straight alliance at school, and all of the backlash that came with that. I always remember my senior year and pushing that and fighting and getting shut down and going through the school board and threatening to get a lawyer, and that's what comes to me. That's the thing that I think of a lot more than being drum captain in band and stuff like that. So I think it would have to be specifically there was a time that we had an event for Matthew Shepard being the guy in the 90s that these 2 guys offered to give him a ride home from a bar. They jumped him and robbed him and basically beat him to an inch of his life, and then tied him to a fence and left him to die. And the Gay Straight Alliance was doing a Matthew Shepard Remembrance Day, and everybody was really hateful about it. I guess it worked in the sense that there was lots of conversation, but all of the posters we put posters up all over the school, and in between every class period, I remember I was late to every class because I went around and picked up all of them. I picked them out of the trash and I put them up, and I carried around tape, and so I wanted them to see. I think I could use duct tape, so it looked awful, but it was this is why this is happening, because you're being provoked so much by somebody that died. It was just so strange that they were so adamant about expressing their hate for someone they didn't know, or they were being guilted into feeling guilty about it. It was just very strange. So that would probably be like the number one moment. I think maybe there's just like a certain audacity that was sparked that day, a certain stubbornness that was like, I'm not gonna let anyone fuck with me like that, and I'm just not gonna put up with shit. And if you're gonna be that way, like, I'm gonna show you how stupid you'll be. I will do it. And I didn't care all day, and I don't remember how I didn't get in trouble. I think that it was that my teachers knew that I was that what was going on, because everybody was talking about it. I remember that was the reason that the Gay Trade Alliance got shut down, because they said that the club was becoming a distraction to the classes, and there was more discussion going on that day than actual classwork. And I challenged the principal at the time. I was like, that seems more like more of a flaw in the way that the teachers are handling their classroom. There's all sorts of dramatic, gossipy things that happen, but I don't know. It was interesting. So yeah, that was certainly one of the most memorable.
About what age did you realize you were gay?
I really can't remember not having known about it. There are definitely some of us that, that don't know, and even in their late 20s, later in life, married, they just have this weird, they had suspicions, but there's there's always kind of a solid understanding that I was gay. That, I remember, I think it was gender dynamics kind of played a role, because I had lots of friends and girls, and I had girlfriends, but what we had was just intimate friendships. We were just really close, and we wanted to hold hands and be lovey-dovey, and that was how I am with my girlfriends now. But then boys were this other thing, and I was always hanging out with the girls, and I remember chasing around this boy. I know his name begins with B, even to this day, in kindergarten, but and knowing that there was something weird there. There was I don't know what this is. The boys are weird, the same silly things.
Who was the first person you told?
I told a girl named Caitlin Philippi. She was my best friend at the time. I wrote her a letter. I was just thinking about how it is about, I was in 7th grade, so I was 11 or 12. I think I was 11 because I'm young. And she was like, oh, no, it's okay, and was totally accepting, only later to find out that she came out as a lesbian, which is funny because we gay people seem to have a tendency to find each other. So, and then her girlfriend later in life was also a girl that I dated in elementary school, so small world. But yeah, Caitlin was the first person. I ended up writing her the letter because she wanted to date, and I was okay, and then I was not into it, and so I wrote her the letter to explain that I didn't hate her, she wasn't a girl not worth dating. But so she and Jackie I was friends with from 2nd grade on. They were neither really all that interested in women before that. Definitely not Caitlin at all. And I know that happened. I think it was junior year in high school. Might have been before. But yeah, they dated for junior and senior year. And when I took a boy to prom, they went with each other. So we were the gay couples at my senior year prom.
That was cool. Tell me about a teacher who has had great influence on your life.
I think there was a professor that I had in college. Her name was Dr. Madeline Detloff. And she's I have all these silly things that I picked up from her. I sign I realized the other day I sign all of my emails like she does. The class that I took from her was queer theory. So this class about deconstructing and understanding the dynamics of gender and sexuality and race and class and ability, all these different things. And I wanted to take it early. It was actually a 400 level class. It was a class in the senior level, but I wanted it to influence all of my work while I was writing my thesis. I wanted it from the start to know it. And
is there a message you would like to pass on to future generations?
So I think there really is a metaphysical reality to us all being connected, and something that I think is interesting because we do, especially as Americans, being in a very individualized society, I think we kind of forget how connected we all are.
Do you have any major regrets?
All kinds. I wish I wasn't one of those people that like doesn't that I have no regrets. Like they're like even if I did made a bad mistake, I learned from it. I am one of those people to a certain extent, but I have a tendency to dwell. And there's a few things that I probably shouldn't mention that I regret that I did, but
well, if you don't want it publicly known, then don't
certainly
mention it.
I don't. I'm still within the statute of limitation, but I'm being actually pretty cognizant of that. But I really regret that I lost touch with. I think that it's natural. I think that we go through these phases in our, even I think it's like a developmental milestone, even that, when you're little, like your whole world is yourself, and then your whole world becomes your family. And then you kind of get to high school, you get a teenager, and you want your whole life to be your friend. And you like kind of lose touch with everything, and especially with the way that our extended family is, and even in some ways like our immediate family, it's like, it kind of sucks that I spent so much time in college and even in high school to some degree, like investing in all those informations and losing touch with a lot of people that family members, because I really didn't know how much life changes after college. Like I really thought I was making friends that I have for the rest of my life. And some of them I know that I will, but it's a lot fewer than I thought it was going to be. And I think that, I want to say that I don't regret it because I had some great memories, but that's something that like I wish I had the foresight to have known that I should be better about staying in touch with people, and I'm not a very good long distance